Hi to everybody who's shown up. I've seen
Hello.
a few of you commented, so do keep coming with your comments. We're going to have a little look today at how you can stream and post video content online and make the best quality product possible, so that you can put forward your artistry and your singing and keep performing in a way when we can't perform in front of people, in venues. And I've got Martin Kendrick here from Night Classical. Could you just introduce yourself, Martin, and tell everyone a little bit about what you do?
So I work for a artist management agency in London. We manage mostly conductors and instrumentalists. I run the digital division, which is two parts to it, really. I mean, I do things in-house for our artists and for the company, but mostly what I do is make videos and websites for external clients, artists, orchestras, ensembles, all kinds of people, basically. Live streaming is one of the various things that we do.
Okay, and you've done a lot of you've done some live streaming of bigger orchestral concerts and big venue work as well, is that right?
Bits and bobs, yeah. I mean, most of what I do is traditional video production, so filming but it's moving more that way, live, and especially at the moment, moving much faster that way than anyone ever expected.
Okay, so we'll look at how individual singers, people at home, can get themselves online a little bit more. Oh, hi, Brian John. I thought we would have a little look first at just some people. I mean, a lot of people have been getting out there already and putting stuff online, streaming and broadcasting quite a bit, whereas some people probably find the whole thing a little bit daunting. I mean, for an absolute crash course for beginners, how does one get out on Facebook Live in the first place?
I mean, if you're doing it in the most simple fashion, I mean, it's incredibly easy. If you've got a computer and the internet, that is literally all you need. If you've got a Facebook account, which most people have, you start a new post as if you were putting up the post about anything. Click the live button, use your webcam, and you're live. I mean, it literally is that simple. So really, from there, it's just a case of using better equipment to get a better result. But in terms of, you don't have to think there's some insane technical barrier to doing it. You literally just, if you can use Facebook, you can do it. If you've never used Facebook before, then it's probably another level of
issue. I think most of us have by this stage. And if you weren't using it before, you probably are using it a lot now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think so when you press Facebook Live, when you press go live, it's by default going to the camera and the microphone on your smartphone or your laptop, is it?
Yes, exactly. And then if you want to improve that, you can get fairly simple but decent equipment that you can literally just plug straight in. The next level up is, multicam setups and ingest and converter cards and switches and all kinds of crazy technical things like that. But even just using a decent camera, a decent microphone straight into a laptop is still a very simple thing to do. Also doesn't cost a huge amount of money.
So I mean, that gets on to the next point. That is, what's the sort of if somebody wants to record an opera voice, and for instance, Ben Woodward asked me the other day if it's a more dramatic voice, if it's a big voice, the microphone that's on your laptop or your smartphone is going to have trouble coping with that, isn't it? Am I right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, if you can get it further away from you, you're probably going to have a better chance. It's always also going to partly depend on where you are, the kind of room you're in, and that kind of thing. I mean, probably the best thing to do with that is to just test it yourself at home. Just record yourself doing it a couple of times in different positions until you find the best result, rather than just going live straight away. I mean, it's very easy to do with just the voice memos app or something like that on your phone. I mean, you can get little tripods for mobile phones for like £5-10 on Amazon. Just if you want to actually be able to mount it on something, which is worth doing anyway, if you're going to use your phone, rather than having to try and rest it against something that might fall over.
Exactly.
I think it's a bit of trial and error with that kind of thing. With voice types. I mean, if you are going to use a phone and not a laptop, I would I would recommend investing in. You can get little microphones by Rode, who are an Australian microphone making company who I strongly recommend, which just plug straight into your phone and will make a huge difference to the sound. They're like £40 upwards. There's like, we've got 3 or 4 different models. So they're not hugely expensive, really. If you're going to do a few of these, it's probably worth investing in something like that.
Is that the microphone that's similar to the one on their devices with the 2 capacitor microphones in stereo setup?
Yeah, that's one. There's some single little condenser mics as well. Video Mic Me, I think, if I remember rightly. I might just have to quickly look this up. There's 3 or 4, I think, with the mobile ones. There's the Video Micro. And the Video Mic Me, and the Video Mic. What's the other one?
It's in the chat so people can
Maybe
see.
there's. Yeah.
The Video Mic Pro.
No, that's for an on-camera one. It's the Video Mic Go.
Video Mic Go.
I think, is that the mobile one? The Video Micro.
Video Micro.
Yeah. And there's one that's just for iPhone and iPad. A Video Mic Me is another mobile one.
Okay.
I can't find the iPhone one at the moment. I think it's. I can't remember what it's called now.
Well, maybe we can put these in the comments later on.
We'll do that later. Yeah.
So these can be ordered on Amazon, most of these.
Yeah, and various other places, eBay, etc.
So they're basically clip-on microphones for the smartphones.
Yeah, which will very easy. I mean, literally just plug them in and off you go.
Yeah,
and it'll make a considerable difference to the quality.
Yeah. And what about recording level? Will that if you're talking about a Wagnerian soprano, will you have to lower the recording level somehow to stop it distorting? And is that doable on a Facebook Live?
Through a computer it is. You can just depending on what computer you're using, but I mean on a Mac you can go to system preferences and sound, lower the input volume.
Okay.
On a phone, there must be some apps that do that. I'm not actually aware of one off the top of my head. To a degree, I think. Again, I think it's going to be a bit of trial and error.
Yeah.
And I would probably recommend just trying to be further away from the phone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rather than
So the bigger voices need to be further back from the microphone, basically.
Yeah, generally. I mean, if you're singing on Facebook Live, you probably don't want to be right in front of the camera anyway. You probably want to have a profile shot. So you put it on a little tripod on the one side of the room and go back.
Yeah, exactly.
5 or 6 feet or something. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's go on to pros and cons of laptops versus smartphones for recording on using Facebook Live.
Camera's not much difference. Microphone's not much difference really, actually, to be honest. If you're using internal, software would be the obvious thing.
Yeah.
I think with a laptop, I mean, you can get very technical with streaming software. There's a package, a free one called OBS, which can do very basic streaming right the way up to multicam studio streaming.
Okay.
There's some much more user-friendly online platforms like the one we're using, StreamYard, which is very good. And there's a few very similar ones like that, which they're very easy in that you can just connect to all your various social accounts and it will stream to all of them at once.
Yeah.
There's what's the other one? There's one like this, one like StreamYard, but is only paid. Sorry, my mind has gone blank on these things. Of course.
There's a lot of options. Yeah, yeah.
Streamlabs, I think, is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay, we can put that. We can add that later on the in the comment section as well. Or and I've got actually information about the video. So
okay, great.
So basically, there's not that much difference. Maybe with I'm guessing with the laptop, you've got a bit more options when it comes to plugging in an external microphone to get better sound. So you would plug in a USB mic, which might be of a better quality than the sort of thing you could use with a smartphone.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's and in a kind of off-the-shelf sense, there's not a huge amount of difference. In the quality of the inbuilt stuff. But yes, when you've got a laptop or a desktop computer, there's a myriad more places you can plug in. I mean, you could even use a basic mixer and pull in some professional mics and run that in. But there are some very good USB mics that you can get.
And what would be some suggestions of good USB mics?
Rode again.
Reasonably cheap.
The Rode NT USB is a very good one.
Yeah.
Currently on Amazon for £160. So it's not dirt cheap, but it's very, very good. The Blue Yeti USB mic is probably the most popular one.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of all-rounder desktop mics. There's a whole range of specifically for kind of podcast mics. Which Rode make as well, called the Podcaster and the Podcaster Pro, which can get quite expensive. They're all fairly similar, large diaphragm condenser mics.
Condenser mics will be far better, I'm guessing, for capturing a singer or a musician than the mics on the computer or on your phone.
Yeah, way better. Yeah.
Capture a crisper, more complete picture of the sound.
Yeah, exactly. And you can position them much easier. I mean, you can put them on a mic stand if you want to, or they can sit on a desktop. Those would be the two I'd probably go for: the Blue Yeti or the Rode NT USB. I mean, there's loads of them available for various price ranges. As with a lot of things, it comes down to your budget as much as anything. But bang for buck, those two are excellent.
Yeah, I'm guessing as well that a major benefit of having a plug-in USB mic is that you can actually, if you're sitting close to the computer like we are, and doing a Facebook, say you decide to be quite close and you've got your phone or your laptop on, next to above your piano, and you're playing something at the same time, you can actually push the mic quite a bit further back, so that you're not getting a distorted sound, so that you're actually, singing within the capability of the mic. You could put it a couple of meters further back than the actual laptop or phone, which is
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could put it on top of a piano, you could put it on a boom bowl, or just a mic stand, or anything really. As long as the cable will reach, you can get extension cables for USB if you need to. They're quite cheap. Yeah.
Okay, super. What about if you want to record with a pre-recorded backing track? Say you've got some backing track of some opera aria, orchestral backing track, and you want to record with that. How would you mix those together and do a stream with those together? Would you need a separate mixer or something? Or
wow, that's a good question. What would be the best way to do that? Actually? So that's where having some decent software would be best. Something like OBS, because you can add, as you would mix in different cameras, you can add in different sources.
Yeah.
So you could add in a recording that way. That would be probably the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
In terms of a non-technical way, not actually. That's an interesting question. I've never tried doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of in a basic way.
From having it on a hi-fi or something next to you.
Well, yeah, which would
not be
ideal at all. No. I think you'd have to use software, actually.
Yeah.
So I probably need to think about that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't think of another way of doing that other than in order to probably get it as a proper source.
Yeah.
I think those are your only two options, actually.
It's probably a lot
pulling it in from software or having it very close being played.
It's a lot easier, probably, isn't it, to do that if you're doing a video beforehand and post social media as opposed to streaming.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other thing that people don't really do. I don't really see the harm in it. It's basically streaming something as live, which isn't actually live.
Yeah.
I mean, on Facebook that would be a watch party. Or on YouTube it's a premiere. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It's a live broadcast off a video.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is that you can then interact with the audience.
Yeah.
Whilst watching the video as well. It depends. I mean, unless you specifically want to do it like a concert and you want to stop in between songs and talk to people, then obviously you can't pre-record that. But if it's just a performance, there's no real reason why you can't. I think there are some things with algorithms on Facebook where live videos get slightly more promotion, but I don't know if that's really.
So that's what
worth worrying about.
Yeah, recording and doing a watch party. Okay.
Yeah, I think for something like that, that's probably. I think there are lines where you're kind of starting to really complicate making it by having to do it live.
Yeah.
Where you would get a better result from just pre-recording something.
Okay.
And getting it good, unless you've got the full setup to do multiple sources and things. It's probably easier to just do it first and then broadcast it.
Okay, so that's worth thinking about. If you want to mix your voice with a backing track. So we got a question from Nigel Evans, and is asking, do you have any recommendations for DSLR external mics for recording a singer? So.
Rode again, the Video Mic Pro, which is a mic that sits on top of pretty much any DSLR with a hot shoe, little socket on top. I mean, well, anything with it, but any mic that can go into it. It depends which camera you've got as well. I mean, you could get an adapter for XLR and then plug in literally any professional mic. But if you just want a cheap-ish mic to sit on the top, then I'd go with one of the Rode Video mics.
Okay.
The Video Mic Pro, or there's so many of them now. The Pro, the Pro Plus. So many others.
So basically, we're saying. So one thing we're becoming aware of is Rode are very good mics when it comes
definitely
to when it comes to USB, when it comes to a mic to clip onto your phone. Rode is a pretty
and they make mics.
Yeah,
generally speaking, they make mics for cameras.
Yeah.
Or for this kind of thing, for media production rather than recording, studio recording.
Yeah, and
yeah. I mean, Sennheiser makes some as well. They're generally more expensive, quite a bit more expensive. That's the other thing about Rode is they're very affordable.
Exactly.
For the quality, I think. So that's why we recommend those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I generally speaking, for recording singers, I probably wouldn't necessarily generally recommend the mics that go on top of cameras as shotgun mics. They're very directional. I mean, I would actually probably still recommend using a USB mic into the computer.
Yeah.
Like the ones we mentioned before.
Okay.
It's better. Then again, if you're pulling in the camera as for the visual and the audio separately, you may have syncing issues.
Yeah.
So then there is a benefit of plugging the mic straight into the camera and using the camera as the only source.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's tricky.
Brian Parsons is asking here, do you have any recommendations for external combination camera and microphone? So that would be something like that. You'd have a DSLR with a mic plugged into the DSLR, and then plugging that into your computer into your Facebook Live.
Yeah. The ideal scenario there, I think, is to get an XLR mic, a good studio mic, essentially, and plug that into the camera with an adapter, with an XLR adapter.
And that can be a condenser mic, right?
Sorry?
That can be a condenser mic.
Yeah, it could be any mic, anything that runs into XLR, which is 90% of mics.
Yeah.
Studio mic, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, Rode actually do an XLR 3.5mm pin adapter, which is quite cheap. I've got one of those. Again, it depends. Oh, Nikon, your Nikon camera. Yes, I think that's probably what I'd say. I would say get an XLR to 3.5mm adapter, and then any kind of studio condenser mic. I think actually even the USB mics possibly have. I should think they also have XLR. Do they? No. No, they don't. Sorry. But any kind of large diaphragm condenser mic.
Okay.
Yeah, great. With an XLR.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that covers the camera and microphone setups. It's certainly better, isn't it, to use if you want to have a better image than the webcams on phones and computers. It's good to plug in a DSLR camera or a handy cam or something like that into your computer and use that as your video source.
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit on that. I mean, it's if you want to be able to plug it straight into the computer without an adapter, it will need to be a webcam. Yeah. It'll need to be a USB connection. I mean, even the most expensive webcams aren't amazing still. I mean, they're better than most laptop ones. I'm guessing the cameras on some of the brand new smartphones and stuff are pretty comparable, actually, are they? Yeah, I mean, the cameras on smartphones would be a lot better than the ones you get on laptops, actually. Yeah. Generally speaking. I mean, I think I'm not sure about the very new models, but the cameras on the MacBook Pros and certainly on the MacBook Airs are basically the selfie camera from the iPhone, so the lower quality camera, the 720p camera. Yeah, which is not great. It's fine, but it's not great. I mean, for this sort of thing, sound is more important, generally speaking. But it would be nice to have a better camera and have a bit more flexibility, one that you can put on a tripod, and you can compose the shot a bit better and light it and that kind of thing. But you can get very cheap adapters. The Elgato, I think is how you pronounce it, Camlink. It's a little USB to HDMI adapter, which any camera with a HDMI out, which is most DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, which is just a little box you plug it into and then plug it in, and then the computer will see it as a webcam. Okay. So doing a single camera into a computer for a stream is very simple. Okay. Once you start adding extra cameras, it becomes tricky. Yeah. Okay, great. Katya's just asking about the singing and backing track. We did cover that a little earlier. So Katya, if you watch this on replay, you'll see us talking about that. Okay, so once you've gone out live and you've done your Facebook Live, you can choose to either save it to your page, in which case people will be able to come back and you can tell people about it, they can come and watch it later, or else you can simply erase it. Am I right? It just you don't have to save it to the page at all. So if you feel if you feel you've done a pretty poor performance, you're not happy with what you've done, you don't have to worry about it. You can just let it go and it'll vanish. But there is a save feature instead as well for those who want to keep what they've done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong about that, really. Yeah. I mean, I think artists maybe shouldn't worry too much at the moment about quality of performance. It isn't a concert performance. Exactly, yeah. I think a lot of it is just about building audience and just connecting with people and sharing, just giving people something to take their mind off things and that kind of thing at the moment. I don't think people should be too worried. Yeah. At the same time, you are. This is your profession. Yeah. So if you weren't happy with it, then that's probably the best thing to do. Leave it in the moment and then get rid of it. Yeah. Not too many people remember. Yeah. Okay. I've got a question from Brian John. Given the complexities of recording and sending out to a Facebook page, why bother too much about quality, given that most viewers will be watching on iPhones and iPads, etc., where the sound is pretty crap anyway? Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, you can't. It's the same kind of principle, really. I mean, it's a personal pride thing as much as anything from the artist's point of view. If they want to put out a good quality product, I mean, if you can do it better and you want to, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but also I think with the singing voice, you're so like you're far more likely to get distortion of sound and stuff if you're not using a good microphone. So then you would care about quality because people might be going, listening on headphones while they're watching the stream on their iPhone or whatever. So
yes, that's true. Like I said before, I think the sound is much more important than video.
Yeah.
In this context, both are important, but sound is more important.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, at the same time, like I said, don't worry about it too much. Partly for that reason as well, is that I don't think people are expecting, Berlin Phil digital concert hall quality from everyone. It's just a nice little thing that people are doing.
Exactly. More important to get stuff out there than it is to get too hung up in the technicalities.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point of this discussion, isn't it? Is that people shouldn't be too worried about the technical barriers. They should just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. If, for instance, you like what you've done, you've done a good little video, and you enjoyed your Facebook streaming. And is there any way of downloading the video you've done a Facebook Live of onto your computer?
There are some kind of slightly fiddly ways of doing it. Yeah, there are websites which can pull videos.
You have to use a website, right? Yeah.
Well, you can actually go and pull it off directly from your own videos. Actually, isn't something I've tried. I can just have a very quick look at this now and see if I can. You probably should be able to. I mean, certainly on YouTube you can do that.
Yeah.
You go into the studio, you can download videos.
Yeah.
Can you do that on Facebook? You must be able to, surely.
Yeah, I did see it mentioned on a course about streaming, which I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That you can actually do it, but I didn't. I haven't been in about how to do it or read up about it. So
I'd be very surprised if you can't. I mean, it should just be in the video settings.
Yeah.
Oops. Download video. Yes, you can. So if you go into the actual video, and then the little 3 dots. Settings. One of the options there is download video. Yeah. So yes, you can. Once it's finished, it just goes into your video library like any other video that you've uploaded.
And then you can download it. And then you could, if you did something really fun and you wanted to share it in a different on a different site, like on YouTube or something, you could download the video and re-upload it to YouTube or something.
Yeah, or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Okay. What about? Let's check out a little. Before we move on, we've got a question from Brian Parsons, which it's a little more technical again. What lead would I need to connect my Nikon DSLR camera to my laptop?
You would need a little converter, which let me just check the exact name of it here. Am I getting it? Yeah, the Elgato Camlink. Okay. Let me just find the link for this quickly. Can I add this in here?
Can you put it in the chat?
No. Oh, well, I'll have to go to Facebook page. So Elgato, elgato.com. The Camlink 4K. It's a little USB dongle. Yeah. One end is HDMI, and the other is USB.
Okay.
You take a HDMI cable from your camera, which might have to be micro HDMI at one end, and then plug that into the adapter, and then that literally just plugs straight into your laptop.
Great. Okay.
And that's it, and then it will see it as a webcam.
Yeah. Okay, super. What about other platforms? We're talking about Facebook Live mainly at the moment. You can also do live streaming on Instagram with Instagram Live and YouTube as well.
Yeah, and Twitter.
And Twitter.
And some lots of more niche platforms like
LinkedIn.
Twitch.
Can you do live?
Yes, I think so. I've never tried, but yes, I believe you can. I think that's a new thing, fairly new. But yes, I think so.
So there's options, and it's probably a pretty similar process on all of them, isn't it? Apart from Instagram, you've got to go live from your smartphone only, I believe.
Well, yeah, there's an app called a Mac, it might be PC as well, but it's a computer app called Yellow Duck, which you can use to go live from a computer onto Instagram.
Okay.
I mean, the principle with that is the same as a lot of like streaming software you use, where the platforms where you're broadcasting to will give you a long key, like an ID number.
Yeah.
And basically you just put those numbers in, and it will connect it to the stream.
Okay.
It gets quite technical at that point, but there is, so it's not impossible to go onto Instagram without using your phone, but it's not easy.
It's probably best to stick with it.
Probably best.
You can go on Instagram.
I think the main thing to remember with that, like we were saying before, is it's like with stories, it's portrait.
Yes.
So it's a different format than pretty much every other streaming platform. It's generally going to be landscape video, whereas it's portrait on Instagram.
Okay. So and then one last question about streaming, and that is there a way of streaming to several platforms at the same time, and how would one do that?
Yep, the easiest way is something like StreamYard, this website that we're using, StreamYard.com.
Yeah, and you the logo up in the corner of this video.
This is a great little website, actually. I mean, they have a free package, which is the one we're using, which is why there's an advert there. But they have various other packages where you can kind of do all kinds of branding and clever things. And basically, it's very simple kind of setup in the beginning, and you just connect to all your various social platforms, like you would with any kind of like social media marketing tool or something. Yeah. And then when you set up in what they call the studio, you set up all the settings and camera inputs, and then you just decide where you want to go live, and it'll go. So it'll do Facebook, YouTube,
Periscope, I believe, as well.
Yeah. What else have they got? They got Twitter, LinkedIn. There you go.
LinkedIn.
And is that what they've got? I think maybe they have Twitter as well. There's a few other very similar websites.
Yeah.
But I think StreamYard is the best one to get going because they have a free package. None of the others do, as far as I've seen. Okay. I mean, they're all fairly affordable. They're like sort of £10-15 a month, that kind of thing. So if you're doing lots of streams, it's probably worth looking at some others. But
yeah. And it also gives StreamYard also gives the option of. I mean, most people will be using this for performing, but StreamYard gives the option of us doing this thing in a split second. Yeah. I mean, I tried. There is apparently a way of doing it on Facebook, which I was fiddling around with, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And the StreamYard makes it very simple to do this screen video. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it. Really, it makes it. It does all the things that like OBS and software does, but it just does it much easier.
Yeah.
And it's directly on the internet. You don't have to fiddle around with connecting software to various streaming keys and boring things like that.
All that complex stuff. Yeah. Okay, great. We got a question. We got a couple of questions coming in. It's like doing a radio show. This. Let's have a look. Martin John asks, "What about adding voiceover to a video afterwards?" Getting outside streaming. Then it's getting into.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting into editing, really. If it's you could download the video once it's finished and put it into any kind of editing software. I mean, the obvious cheap one would be iMovie if you're on a Mac.
Yeah.
Not too sure what the best the best free editing software you can get is DaVinci Resolve.
Right.
But that's proper professional editing software.
Yeah.
If you just want to do a quick fiddly thing, then iMovie is probably the best. I'm not sure what the Windows equivalent is these days because Windows Movie Maker doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
There must be something though. So you'd need to record the voiceover separately, which you could do in GarageBand or Audacity, which is a free audio software, something like that. So then you'd have to download the video file, save the audio file, and then just stick them together in iMovie or something like that.
Yeah. re-upload that to whatever platform you want it to be on.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't go onto the video that's on Facebook and record over the top of it on Facebook. That's not something you can do, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's an option there. Marianne Town-Smith asks, I would like to perform a duet with a friend. Now, this is a question I've been getting a lot, and I've been thinking about. This is about both smartphones and a backing track. Which software can we use to mix the videos on our phones or iPad? Or do you recommend only using a laptop mixing software program like OBS? This ties in, well, maybe we can answer this one first. It ties in with another question which I've been grappling with over the last few weeks. So.
Yeah, it's the backing track is the thing that makes it tricky. In this instance, like we were saying before, it's you're either doing it crudely by playing it next to the laptop or whatever it is you're using, or something like OBS to bring it in, which is probably the best thing. Yeah, I mean, I would certainly have a go at doing it with OBS. It's a bit fiddly, but once you get the hang of it, that, I mean, you could.
I mean, it causes there's an issue with this, isn't there? Yeah, there's an issue with this, which is what the thing I've been wondering about, and that is it possible? I mean, I'm sure a lot of singers are grappling with it. Is it possible to jam with someone else live online, to have an accompanist in one place and a singer in another place, and actually do a performance online like this? Which I've figured out that it's not really possible to do a good job, because of the simple fact there is always lag between the two signals, so you're never going to be able to hear each other in the moment and play off each other. Is there any way around this at all that you can think of?
There isn't a foolproof way. No, it is tricky, and yet, like with lots of these things, you're at the mercy of each person's connection and each person's kit. Yeah. I mean, Zoom, funnily enough, is as good a way as any a lot of the time. Funnily enough, I mean, that thing over the weekend is probably still with the Rolling Stones and everyone doing their little concerts. I mean, that will technically do that. FaceTime is an option, but then you can't then broadcast it live. You can with Zoom, you can go live with Zoom to Facebook or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard this question, and it is tricky. There isn't a foolproof solution, unfortunately. StreamYard might do it. To be honest, StreamYard might do it. But there is still not something I've seen. Yeah, there is still a little bit of lag. Yeah. But it's a lot more stable than most things. Yeah. It's certainly trickier when you're using smartphones if you're not using a laptop.
And my thought is also that it's probably better if one of the musicians isn't listening to the other. So say the piano player doesn't have the singer in their ears. Listen to it. The piano player is one of the musicians leads and the other follows and doesn't listen to the other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the piano player could be singing it, could be playing it, and the singer could be listening to the piano player and singing, and that feed could be going out. But the piano player is only getting their impulse from the singer's only getting their impulse from the piano player, not the other way around.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where you have to accept it's not going to be perfect. Yeah. If you want to do it live. If you want it perfect, you're probably best to pre-record, and then stitch things together, that kind of thing. I mean, for example, I did a video recently for Clare College Choir where they wanted to do a choral performance of St Matthew's Passion, and so the choir director recorded the piano piece and sent it to everyone, and they all with headphones in sang their piece, and then we edited it together. I mean, I think if we'd have tried to do that live, it would have been. I don't see how you could do it really properly. And we took several rounds of editing to make sure everyone was in the right place and at the right levels and that kind of thing.
So that involved taking each video file that was sent in and shifting it a little bit in time so they're all synced.
Basically, yeah.
In a video editing software, yeah.
I mean, that's the only way you could do something like that really properly. You can do it live, but I think you'd have to accept it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what we were saying before. There's a trade-off between perfection and just doing stuff at the moment and making it more of a community thing and just having a bit of a jam kind of feel rather than a pristine live ensemble performance.
Yeah.
There has to be a bit of trade-off.
Can Zoom be used for this sort of thing at all, or is it also going to have the same problem with a bit of a delay always between whoever's talking and the other people?
I think there's always going to be a little bit, depending on everyone's setup. But it can, you can use it. There's no reason why you can't necessarily. I think if it's just a kind of bit of a fun jam, then I think that's fine. I've had the question about artists trying to rehearse together over Zoom, and that doesn't really work, because you really have to be able to follow each other properly. Something like that, if it's not streaming, I think something like FaceTime is better because it tends to be a bit more stable. You're then relying on everyone having iOS devices, but or Macs.
And can you split the screen in FaceTime and actually send that out anyway onto Facebook Live?
No, not to go live. No, that's just for private use. To get a better result for something like rehearsing. But streaming, Zoom is probably the nearest thing for that, or something like StreamYard. But they are essentially all the same thing. So there's the inherent problem with lags, unfortunately.
Okay, so the best thing is probably to, if you're several musicians trying to do a collaboration, is to record things as closely as you can online, and then take each video file in video editing software and put the result out afterwards.
Yeah, I mean that's how you'll get the best result.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to just have a fun live, communal thing. But if you want a proper half decent result, then pre-record each person's piece and then stitch it together.
And iMovie will do a good job with that.
But I'll do a perfectly fine job.
Several different faces on the screen at the same time, and
it's quite a simple thing to do. If you, like I said, you want to get into doing something a bit more advanced with editing, then DaVinci Resolve is the best free option. But iMovie is fine.
Great, super. Okay. What about so we've covered Zoom. What about if you want to create a multi-performer video? We saw one of the singers from my agency, Jake Muffet, did this recently with himself singing, with himself playing a clarinet orchestra as the accompaniment. And how can a singer put together one of these choirs with themselves, or with them playing instruments on multiple different small screens, showing themselves?
This is a very clever app called Acapella. It's a smartphone app. I think it's Android and iOS, as far as I know. So that's everyone who's, you're seeing loads and loads of people do that because it's become this very popular. It's created by a company who made a similar app, something else, and they brought this out literally like weeks ago. It's pretty much at the top of the iTunes chart, I think, now for apps. So if you search for Acapella.
And it makes it very simple. It's a very simple process on that.
It basically does all the hard work for you. You just play, and then you have options to split things up and play around with it, but sort of basic editing. So, and it's free. So I would strongly recommend everyone to download it and have a bit of fun with it.
And put the creative results up online.
There's some hilarious things that some people are doing. I was saying before, Louise Older, the soprano, has created a girl group called the Lulu Bells, which is full of her. It's very funny.
Fantastic. Okay. Acapella. So download that, everybody, and get creating.
Give it a go.
Okay, we get just time, I think, now at the end, just to cover a few questions quickly. We've got a question from Kirsten Sharpin. Hi, Kirsten. Nice to see you. A few organizations are going ahead with video-based auditions applications when it's not possible to have a singer, pianist, and camera person in a room. What setup is likely to produce the best result? This probably also raises the question of recording with backing tracks again. If I missed it already, sorry for the repetition. We touch on that again, I think. So,
video-based auditions, presumably they don't have to be. They can be pre-recorded, surely, if it's a submission.
I mean, I wouldn't have expected streaming for that. So.
Well, no, surely. The best thing would be to record each person's part individually and edit them together. which again doesn't have to be a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sorry, she did say that at the bottom. Kirsten says, yes, not streaming, not streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. A singer and a pianist. What's the best place to start? Probably best if the pianist records their part and then sends it to you, and then you can.
I mean, I would see it as possibly a two-way thing. The singer maybe, as the singer wants their phrasing and stuff, maybe the singer should sing a take of it, send it to the pianist, so the pianist gets a feel for how the singer wants, and then the pianist lays down their take and sends it to the singer.
Yeah, that's true. And it's probably going to be a bit of back and forth as well. So.
Yeah. And then the singer then adds a final singing track onto the good take of the piano playing.
Yeah.
To knit it together.
Okay, that's good. You're right. That would be the way. But yes, technically it would be a case of individually filming each other until the point where you've got the audio that you're happy with.
Yeah, and then use something like iMovie to put the two together. Yeah.
Yes, I mean presumably they're not going to be too, because hopefully not too picky about the kind of visual result that they're needing. They don't have to accept that people are going to have to do this themselves. Yeah. Does it have to be video? It can't just be audio? No, I suppose that would open up to too much cheating, wouldn't it? Yeah. They're probably going to want video. Yeah.
And I think Kirsten's quite a dramatic singer, dramatic soprano. So I think she'd probably be looking at the necessity of having a condenser microphone to pick up the sound.
Yeah, I think for something where you're trying to get work from it, it's probably worth investing a bit in some kit. I mean, again, it's not a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Something like the Rode or the Blue Yeti. Definitely video. Okay.
Definitely video. Yeah. Okay, so I think we covered that. Is there any more questions from anybody before we finish this live?
I haven't missed anything.
See if anything turns up. Let's have a look if we've missed anything. Okay. Earlier on, Anne Liebeck asked, these microphones we were talking about for the smartphones, they also work with the Samsungs, do they? There's a different, I'm guessing there's a different version of it with a different connector. Am I right?
Yeah, there's only one Rode mic which is specifically for iPhone and iPad, because it has a little Lightning connection. But almost all of them are just for mobile devices. They plug into the headphone jack. Yeah. Basically. So Samsung or Nokia or any phone with a Pixel, any phone with a headphone jack.
Yeah. Great.
So not the latest iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you need the iPhone one. Yeah.
Well, Apple like to make things complicated for us.
They do, yes. Make you buy more connectors. Yeah.
Although their computers and stuff are very nice to use. So, yeah.
Can't say no. Yes.
Paul Robinson's asking, small or large condenser mic?
Large, ideally.
Yeah.
So it's something like the Blue Yeti or the Rode NT USB. Are really good for that reason. Designed for vocal. I mean, primarily designed for speech, I suppose, really, but the principle is still the same. Yeah.
And condenser mics provide a better sound, do they, than other types? So we wouldn't want to be using one of these lavalier mics, these little clip-on mics.
No, they're just or even a shotgun mic, really. Yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, I've actually found shotgun mics can be very nice for stringing instruments.
Yeah.
But no, it's because they're pointing at a very specific spot. So the whole point of those mics is to block out sound around them.
Yeah.
Because they're designed to be pointed at someone talking and getting rid of background noise. So for something where you want a large sound, you're not going to get a lot of it because it's deliberately trying to block it out. So you want something which actually is designed to absorb the sound.
Yeah.
So large.
Okay, so the large condenser mics are the best option here. Brian asks, is it easy to use a Zoom recorder as a separate mic, please?
Yeah, Yes, some of them do have USB connections, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on which model you're using,
Mm.
or well, I mean, another way would be potentially you could plug one from the XLR output. You could plug it into a cheap mixer, and you can get mixers surprisingly cheap. Behringer is a company that make cheap audio equipment. Ridiculously cheap actually, but surprisingly good for the price, not rubbish. They make little like 4-track mixers which you could plug an XLR in, and then from that you could take out, depending on what computer you've got. If you've got an earlier MacBook where you've got a microphone, any computer with a microphone input, you could then take from the mixer a 3.5mm adapter which you can plug into a microphone input.
That's the little mini jack, right?
Yeah, it looks like a headphone jack, basically. Yeah. That's the sort of standard audio connection.
Yeah. But I can add on this that I've actually done some recording with the Zoom plugged in directly into the USB in the computer.
Okay.
And if you go into the menu on the Zoom, there is a choice. When you plug it in, you'll get an automatic menu popping up with, would you like to use this device for storage or for input-output? So you want to then use input-output. And that then connects the Zoom as a microphone setup to your computer. Yeah. So then whatever program you're using, if you're streaming or whatever, it'll ask if you want to connect to the internal microphone or to the external microphone, Zoom. And that works pretty well, actually, in my...
Yeah, the mics on the Zooms are good.
Yeah. So there's both options going through that. Okay, Martin John says, be aware of cheap iPhone connectors, bad background buzz.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, you can get cheap, like very, very cheap lav mics and stuff which plug into iPhones, but the Rode ones are good.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about those. And most of them plug straight into the headphone jack.
Great. Okay, so stick with Rode.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely. Not sponsored, I wish.
Yeah. Official sponsors. Okay, so if I think we're just about done, Martin. Unless we have any more final questions, it looks like we're just about done.
We've got them all. Yeah.
So let's just finish off and say, if people want to get in touch with you or find out more about Night Classical, how can they find you?
So nightclassical.com is the website.
I put that in the description of the video, actually.
Yeah. The digital page is my little abode on there, my little department. But we do lots of things, artist management, touring, projects of various kinds, etc., etc. Yeah,
great. Okay, people can have a little look at Night Classical. I think you've also got Instagram and LinkedIn pages, am I right?
Yeah, all the usual stuff. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Vimeo. It's all on the bottom.
Yeah. Super. And if you enjoyed this video and it's been useful to you, please do share it on your social media. You're welcome to do that. And give it a like. And also we will have a look if there's any questions that come up in the comments and try to answer those as they come up. This will be online now on the Svanholm Artists page indefinitely. So do add a question if you want to, and I'll try to answer it. Or if I have a problem answering it, I'll get in touch with Martin and ask him to contribute to it as well. Okay. Well, thanks very much for speaking to us today, Martin. It's been
thank you.
Covered a lot of area about streaming and recording, and people who haven't had the courage to do it so far, or been worried about the technical sides of it, can now actually get up online and give some of this stuff a try, or try creating with a cappella or this type of thing. So
yeah, definitely give it a go. Yeah, why not? It's never been a better time.
Never been a better time. Yeah. Okay, thanks very much.
Cool. Nice.
Right.
Take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.